Okay, well, hey, I'm back here for the second part of Module 2. This is 2.2. Like I said, in finishing up what I was talking about in that last part, people argue that poverty, for example, is a cause of juvenile delinquency. But if you've been in my other class on families and so forth, then there's other things that can be argued. One of them could be just abuse and neglect by parents. You don't get any upbringing from anybody, and then you're expected to figure this all out on your own. That's not good. But the other extreme is that you get smacked around all the time, and that's supposed to help you make good decisions. So there's something in the middle there. We call it authoritarian parenting in that other class, and authoritative parenting. And authoritarian parenting is bad. Authoritative parenting is good. Another kind of parenting called permissive parenting is also bad. So basically what we're saying to you is that there's multiple things here. What if you put poverty with child abuse and neglect, for example? Then we might be getting somewhere. Well, as your book goes into this, they start talking about this again from kind of an historical perspective. They have this classical school, which it really goes to the overall theories of crime, in other words, criminology. And so the classical school of thought, it cuts across not just adult but also juvenile types of cases. And that is people are free will agents, which kind of goes to the Bible in a way, if you think about it. We are all free will agents. To a certain extent, this is true. I don't care who we are. I don't care if our mother raised us wrong, our mother dressed us wrong. We still have to make that ultimate choice. And that's how the American legal system works. In other words, we choose to be a criminal. And so in that context, that's the classical school, is basically it's all about free will. Now, let's say that one person is raised totally correctly and that choice is easy. The choice to be good is easy. Another person is poorly raised in a bad home life, poor situation as far as financially, drugs in the household. The deck's kind of stacked against a young person like that. And so I don't think free will agency is the total explanation. But it does have a part to play, don't get me wrong, or else our legal system would be totally incorrect, and it's not incorrect. We still have to make choices. We have to know what we're doing, and we have to make the wrong choice to commit a crime. So positive school then came along after the classical school, and the positive school is basically internal and external factors. And this is where we kind of get into this, where we're kind of born a certain way, but we're also raised in a certain environment. And this could be abusive home. It could be enriching home, where they take you to museums at the age of 4. A lot of differences here in terms of the internal and external factors. So internal factors inside ourselves, external factors outside of ourselves. Did we go to a good school? Did we have good parents? And so forth. And so this has a lot to do with juvenile justice, I think. I think the two together might be the best way to go. And so rational choice theory is the next one. Under rational choice theory, they're basically a situation, causes of crime lie within the offender. It goes back to these choices that the person makes. But again, I think they de-emphasize the environment in choice theory. Now, there's an offshoot of the choice theory that I strongly stand by, and that is called RAT theory, which is rational activity theory. Rational activity theory. And the thing on that is it breaks it down to a triangle, and it basically shows that there is a motivated offender, there is a target, whether that's a child or a TV set. It could be either one. And then there's a capable guardian. And so if we think of RAT theory in the context of juvenile delinquency, then we're looking at potential gang influences on children. We're looking at, you know, a mother that has to work 2 jobs to keep the family together and doesn't have the time, so the child's a latchkey kid that kind of wanders from pillar to post and is at the playground, and there's somebody from a gang and they influence them to become a member of the gang. So these are all important parts of this. And then also keep in mind that there are what we call biological factors. For instance, brain injury or chemicals. Somebody is abusing substances while they're pregnant, and the child then is affected. In an interesting study, they say, of cadavers of 66 male criminals, it was determined that the skulls were larger, had larger jaws, bigger canine teeth, high forehead, flattened noses. And you know, this is not to say that every bad person has these things, but I think the biological factors are there in the context of there is some indication of genetics being involved. And I see that a lot when I train people regarding avoiding substance abuse. We see a lot of studies on that people that abuse substances have, in fact, a long history in the family. In fact, one of the studies that we look to all the time, persons 4 times more likely to be an alcoholic if their grandfather was an alcoholic and their father was an alcoholic. Okay, and that could be grandmother alcoholic, mother alcoholic too. So if one parent, one grandparent were alcoholics, then chances are you're going to be an alcoholic 4 times more likely than just average citizen. So there are these biological factors. There's no question about it. So I guess what I'm saying is it's kind of confusing. I understand at first blush, and you've got to develop your own theory. You have to develop your own theory. I mean, is it nature? Is it nurture? Or is it just chance? Is it poverty? Is it all about the environment? Is it all about choice? Does someone make their own choices and then they become a juvenile delinquent? You know, these are all things that are contained in your readings, and you need to look it over. Consider your champion textbook, and then come back and talk to me in your discussion board about what your thoughts are. And then also, do not forget to turn your attention to these interview questions. Read that very carefully. I'll be up in that discussion too, kind of trying to encourage you. So stay in touch. If you got any questions, you can always ask me. You can ask me through the discussion board. You can ask me by email, either way. So let us know if you're having any problems, and I'll get right back with you. Thank you very much. That's all for this Module 2.2.